Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Prime News. I'm Jen Pellegrino.
And I'm Kelly Sadler. Happy Monday evening.
Happy Monday. Well, topping tonight's Prime News, California nightmare.
Neighbors say the target of the shooting, a woman who lives nearby, saw the thieves and confronted them. Police say one suspect fired a gun but did not hit the victim.
It's gotten so bad that even if you see your car broken into, it's not worth saying anything.
Well, crime has gotten so out of control in California that people have now given up on calling the cops. That's the word from one Oakland community where car break-ins are so common that the cops aren't even showing up. They're just telling people to file an online report instead. Meanwhile, a 55-year-old man did the right thing and stopped a man from attacking a woman on a San Diego bus. Well, he now faces murder charges because the man he was restraining fell unconscious and went into medical distress and died. The idea of just standing there and watching a crime happen is clearly how the left is choosing to govern the state. We've all seen the viral videos of people just watching crooks walk out with arms full of merchandise. Well, that trend, folks, is not stopping anytime soon, as another video of a smash and grab robbery in a San Francisco area Walgreens has emerged. The Twitter account Asian Crime Report says these thieves targeted a shop in Millbrae. Since 2019, rampant shoplifting in the state has forced more than 10 Walgreens to shut down. Owners of a jewelry store in San Francisco's Marina District are also recovering after burglars broke in and smashed display cases. The owner said the thieves got away with tens of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, adding that their store was also hit by crooks last summer and it will have to close if this happens again. These thieves are taking advantage of a state law that pretty much makes shoplifting legal. The law makes stealing merchandise worth $950 or less only a misdemeanor offense, which means that law enforcement probably won't bother to investigate. And if they do, prosecutors will just let it go. With police handcuffed or just unwilling to stop the crime, some people are taking it into their own hands. A Sacramento property owner barricaded a public street in an attempt to stop the disorder and crime plaguing the area, while some San Francisco business owners have formed a neighborhood task force, taking a community organizing approach to stop these smash and grabs.
They used a blowtorch. They torched our front door, so it bypassed our alarm. They came in and then they stole high-end jackets.
And the police department is not going to be able to solve our public safety challenges by themselves. It's really going to take a partnership with the community. And
that includes encouraging more business owners to put cameras up so perpetrators and their getaway vehicles can be covered from all angles.
Joining us now is California congressional candidate and U.S. Navy veteran Joe Collins and California Senate candidate and constitutional law attorney Mark Meuser. Thank you both for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Mark, I'd like to start with you. You know, obviously, when we talk about crime, it's something I think all Americans or a lot of Americans can identify with right now. We're seeing a lot of our cities, especially Democrat-run cities, experiencing a rise in crime. And obviously, there are concerns between the communities and then the police that are protecting them. So we've got a lot of issues right now for the police. And in your state in particular, Governor Gavin Newsom, he has the state auditor releasing the scathing report charging that the police department is racist and biased against women and LGBTQ people. I mean, Mark, we're going to get to a point where no one wants to be an officer in the state, and this is happening in your state, across the country. How do we improve morale within our police departments and incentivize more people to consider careers in law enforcement, particularly considering what police officers are dealing with right now?
Well, just last night, I was watching the NBA finals, and I was listening to it was the Tennessee broadcast, and there was a radio commercial about the need for law enforcement, and they were giving huge, massive signing bonuses. And so I think at the end of the day, what we're seeing right now is we're going to start seeing vigilante justice. People are just saying enough is enough. Law enforcement's not going to do their job, and we're not going to stand by and let people deprive us of our life, our liberty, and our pursuit of happiness. And so we're going to start seeing this vigilante justice. And you're going to see capitalism work, because places that want to have safe streets, they're going to go ahead and start paying law officers more. And, you know, you're going to see a migration. We're already seeing a migration of some of the best California police officers moving to other states because they're getting sign-in bonuses. They're actually appreciated for what they're doing, and they actually get to stop bad guys.
Well, Mark, you know what you're also seeing? You're seeing the residents of California migrate from the great state of California to Arizona and Texas, especially with all these COVID lockdowns. But Joe, this is a question for you and Mark as well. Really, California has for more than a decade really just been dominated by Democratic politicians. They've controlled, basically everything from the governor's mansion to the state Senate and the state assembly since the year, 2011. When will these Democrats wake up, and when will they start voting Republican? Joe, to you first.
Well, when I ran against Maxine Waters last election cycle, one of the biggest things that I heard from the constituents in the district was that we've never seen Republicans in our district until you've gotten here. And so what I think what it's going to take is more Republican presence in these inner cities, and that's why it's important for people across the United States to support campaigns like mine so we can continue to get in people's faces and start showing them what it is to have true leadership. It pains me to see people move out of California because of issues that we have going on here and move to other states and still continue to vote Democrat. That's not why you move. You move because the policies of Democrats have completely destroyed our state. I mean, we can look at inflation. We're looking at crime. We're looking at the increase of homelessness. These are absolute Democrat policies. And if we as Republicans do not stop saying that places where I live at are unwinnable districts and start getting involved in places like where I live at, which is Los Angeles County, then we will lose California. And if we lose California, we're going to lose the rest of the United States.
Joe, I'd like to ask you this. We see leftist cities across the country facing an explosion of crime. You look at just this past weekend in Chicago, 32 people shot over the weekend, 7 of them fatally. In Philadelphia, there was a 13-year-old shot. And then there were 2 shootings in New York City as well this weekend. Yet listen to how the media covers this. Listen to Brian Stelter on CNN claiming this is all some type of right-wing talking point.
Does that mean that Republican narratives are beating Democratic narratives? Because when I hear you say they're worried about crime, I kind of hear a Republican narrative.
Joe, your reaction?
Yeah, that guy's an idiot. And that's why he would never allow anybody like me to come on CNN, because we can absolutely debunk everything that he's saying. See, people who've been on CNN, people who go to MSNBC, they don't live in the inner cities. They don't live in South LA. They don't live in Chicago. They don't live in these high crime areas. So it's very easy to say that, oh, they're just Republican talking points, because it's not their family members that are getting shot at. It's not their family members that are getting robbed, And so when I listen to somebody like that, I can say he's a complete idiot. If he want to debate me, then we can actually get me on CNN. I would have no problem with talking to him or Joy Behar, any of these leftist liberals who think that the issues that are going on in our communities are absolute talking points.
Mark, now you're running for Kamala Harris's vacated Senate seat. What is your reaction to the left wing that says, rising crime rates and concern among communities is just a right-wing talking point?
Well, as long as they're thinking that it's a talking point, they're losing, because the people of California do not feel safe right now. And, we saw this in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where Democrats had overwhelming majorities of population. Republicans had no chance of winning, we were told. They were supposed to lose by 12 points. But Republicans talked about law and order, and because people did not feel safe going on the streets, they crossed party lines. And what we are seeing, the polling data is already starting to show that people are willing to cross party lines to have safe neighborhoods. They all understand what party is trying to defund the police. They know what party is trying to defund Border Patrol. They know what party is releasing criminals who should be in jail but now are committing violent crime. Enough is enough. The voters know what's going on. They know what party to hold accountable. And, they understand that good intentions may sound good, but when it's their family's lives in danger, they are not going to support these policies.
Mark, I want to get your reaction to this. As a constitutional law attorney, what do you make of California's push to now let non-citizens become police? The bill was passed by the state Senate. It'll go to the Assembly next. One person defended it, actually saying that we should keep in mind it was full-blooded Americans who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Your thoughts?
Well, it's just asinine what the Democrats are doing. They're calling good evil and evil good. They are pouring into this state and into this nation people who are not here legally, and they're making it hard for legal citizens to actually get a job or want to work. And then they say, oh, because we can't find these people, now we need to bring in these other people. It's just backwards what's going on right now. How can you take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States if you're not even under United States citizen yet? I mean, it lacks basic common sense.
You know, Joe, the district you're running for is in southern Los Angeles. There's been a spike in crime in Los Angeles. Union Station in Los Angeles is being overcome by squatters, by homelessness, by drug users. What do you feel about, the police doesn't even want to patrol the area anymore because it's so unsafe. I mean, what is your feelings about bringing illegals in, to become law enforcement?
Yeah, I think that's a really terrible policy. And the reason why is because illegals do not have skin in the game. They are not tax-paying Americans. I think that we have a lot of Americans who need jobs, who can be employed by our police department. It makes no sense to have a person who has already broken our federal laws come into our country and start policing people who have to abide by the laws. I think it's complete contradiction, but these are the policies of the Democrats. This is why it's important for people to get involved in our campaigns, whether you contribute, whether you donate, whether you come on board and make phone calls, because the last thing that we need is to continue to allow Democrats to be sympathetic for these terrible lawmakers that they keep electing into office. We have to win. We cannot allow illegal immigrants to participate in functions in society that was created for United States citizens. It's absolutely absurd. Get involved in our campaign and let's take back California.
Well, gentlemen, I do hope that more Americans are waking up and they vote accordingly. Mark Meuser, Jill Collins, thank you both for taking time to be with us tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Me.